Hello and welcome to another Adobe After Effects tutorial. This is going to teach you how to basically move your camera so the text slides around the screen in a very, what I say is fancy way. Now, you might see that, well, I have this word, this, very small, and lesson is sort of not like you would expect it to be, but the rest of the text is quite similar. Now, first off, in order to actually have your text be able to move around with the camera, you're going to have it all on separate layers, or if you're going to go with, like, say, a small sentence, you can have that all on one layer if you wish. But I like to have them all separate layers. And you're going to have to select them all and then have the 3D object icon here, which is this little cube, activated. Now what that's going to do is it's going to allow it to be affected by all the text and all the 3D little things that you can do. Now, you're going to want to add a new camera by clicking here, going to Layer, New Camera. I already have a camera active, so I'm going to not do this, but I generally use default settings here as it is. Now this is my camera here. I clicked on Transform and I clicked on this little arrow and this arrow and it shows all this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to want to click all that, and before you actually add your keyframes, which are things you use to actually have a camera move efficiently, you're going to actually want to move your camera yourself a bit, so where you want to start. So all that was from a failed recording. Now we're going to start here at 0 seconds. What we're going to do is animation, add keyframe with all these selected. And now what you're wanting to do is, let's move this out about 1 second, just about, give or take. And we're going to zoom out and move our camera over so it reads this. Now we're going to go another second out and move the camera further so it can read Adobe. Now you might want to be more careful with your camera than I'm being, because it will pick up those little up and down movements, but it's however you want it to be. Now, if you continue going out, I want to zoom out more. Your keyframe will be moved appropriately, so I want to move over here so you can see the After Effects. Now you might be wondering, oh, well, you can't really read lesson all that well. Well, you can if you move your camera appropriately. Now, while I'm moving all this, oops, sorry, hang on, I have a better way to do this. You want to move it over here so you can read it all. Now, you have your X, Y, and Z rotations. What you can actually do is you can move these appropriately just by sliding. And then you can move it in groups of about 5 if you hold down Shift and say, now lesson is up there and everything else is sideways. And then you can zoom in on lesson, and then you can watch as this all plays out. As you can see, it's starting to slide and it ends here. Now, I did sort of mess this up, so I'm going to get rid of this keyframe here and move this further out. So, correction, I actually do need this to be at 0. Sorry about that. I was thinking of something else. But it'll start off at 0. It will, now see, during the planning I was having it move sideways, then out, then rotating. But sometimes this happens, but sometimes I like to work with it personally. So I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to zoom the camera out a bit more, so it'll end up doing something like this. It reads Adobe. Now, any edits that you had previously, you might want to get rid of by using that delete. So it'll go like this. This is an Adobe After Effects lesson. Now lesson might be moving too slow, but you can easily just move that keyframe. So it will end up like this. So it's relatively simple, pretty easy to learn, and pretty fun, to be honest. I did quite a lot with the After Effects here, so all in all, it's a really fun program, and it can be used for a lot of different things, like some commercials you might see. So yeah, goodbye.